All right, so this video is going to cover the how to do a full MLA format of your essay. Now, please be aware that if you are a test taker and turning in your essay to College Board, this is not the way that your essay is going to look. There'll be something different that you will have to do. But to turn it into your teacher and as a non-test taker, this is the expectation for your AP seminar paper for how it's supposed to look MLA format. Now, when we look at the header, there are two things that we look at right away. I want to see your name, my name, the class, and the date. So let's say that your name is John Doe. We're going to put that there. This is the class, but we need Mr. Howard's name up first, so that's what we're going to put there. And then you'll notice that we have a date in here, but the date is not typed out in accordance to MLA. What we need to do is we need to say that this is the 31st of March, 2025. You don't want any punctuation in your header, so that would be successful. The second part of a header is to make sure that it's not in the actual header field. So Google Docs has an actual header field. You can get to that header field by double-clicking up top here in this margin, and you will see the header. We want to make sure that this does not go in there. Reason being, watch what happens. All of a sudden, that header extends down to the next page. So we don't want that there, but what we do want there is going to be our page number. So if you were to just type in a page number up top here, let's say 1, you're going to notice that it's going to stay the exact same on the next page. We need a page number that changes per page, so we're going to go to Insert, Page Numbers, and this one right here is the one that we want to use. If you have a title page, you would use this one because you don't put a page number on the title page, but oftentimes we will not be using a title page until you get about to AP Research. So here, just put that in there. We want to move this over to the right, so we're going to choose our alignment settings and align right, and then we're going to put our last name. So if my last name here is Doe, that is what I would like to put here. Now, before you leave your header field, please make sure it's Times New Roman size 12. This is something that I always see and people forget it all the time. Please make sure that you have done that correctly. Speaking of fonts, if you press Control A, you will highlight your entire document. You may change whatever font you have to Times New Roman, size 12. We want to double check to make sure as well that everything is going to be a black text. Sometimes when we copy and paste things in there, it goes to this weird kind of gray or this here. We want to make sure that it's easy on our reader, so we want to make sure it's black. Even if it shows black, even if it shows Times New Roman, even if it shows 12, we're still going to go through these steps. We're going to click, type, change to black. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is work on our alignment settings. Now, you'll notice I have a 1.15 spacing method here, and I find this under our spacing, line and spacing. I want to make sure that's double spaced. Now, when we copy and paste things in, sometimes we get this really weird line break. What I mean by that is, take a look at this line right here. So, if this is my title, and I were to add a space after the paragraph, notice how that increases versus decreases, right? We want to make sure that there's no line breaks in an MLA essay, so we're just going to add a space and remove a space. Add a space and remove a space. We want to do this for before paragraph and after paragraph. That's going to make sure it's the perfect double spacing throughout. Next thing that we want to do is, as we're kind of looking at the layout of our essay, we want to make sure that there's no line break between paragraphs, so we're going to delete any line breaks that we have. As we're going through, we might as well indent any paragraph that we have. Boom. Now, this is looking just a little bit better. You'll notice that I have a title here, and this title is not bolded, it is not underlined, it's not italicized, and that's perfect. But what does need to happen is it needs to be center aligned. Now, you'll notice if I have it indented over, and then I center align, my alignment is no longer correct. So before you center align it, please double check to make sure you have not indented it, and then you can center align, and now you have the perfect center aligned title. Then you can move directly into your introduction, body paragraphs, etc. If you are choosing to use signposting, aka subheadings, we will bold those and just say introduction. Okay? Introduction doesn't need anything fancy. If you're choosing to signpost for a body paragraph, you would like to explain what your claim is. So let's say, for example, my claim is that social media is negatively affecting the peer-to-peer interactions of students in school. I might say social media and peer interactions. Now I know that anything below this is going to deal with that specific information for that claim. Same thing if I were to do my second body paragraph. Instead of having it called body paragraph 2, right? We want to give our reader a little bit of signposting to explain what's going on. So maybe this is the alternative viewpoint. So maybe I will put, I don't know, social media not harming. Notice I'm not calling this counter argument. I'm not calling this body paragraph. All I'm doing is labeling the claim that would be noticed there. If you have your conclusion, simply put, it is going to be conclusion. There's not much that goes in there other than that. If you have not bolded your subheadings, please do. This is a much easier way to read. Although it's not 100% correct MLA-wise, this will not get you marked down, so we do like to see that there. Now we have our essay primarily formatted. The next step that we need to do is take a look at our works cited. You'll notice that my works cited after all these formattings has not been on its own separate page now. That typically happens when you reformat, edit, or change. So even if you had your works cited on its own separate page originally, we want to move it. Now, once again, we want to center our works cited title. Please do not bold, do not underline, or do not italicize. That is not what you will have for your works cited title. All you do is call it works cited. Now, you have all of this stuff here. We want to double check to make sure that we have it in alphabetical order. So I'm going to sing my ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the first thing that comes through here. F is the first thing here. That has to be my first source. So again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is my next thing here. I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. P, perfect. Q, R, S, perfect. T, U, V, W, Wikipedia. There we go. We have everything in alphabetical order. Now, some people are asking, how do I put a hanging indent in here? Two different ways. Go to your second line, type enter, enter, backspace, or highlight your works cited, go to Format, Alignment Indent, Indentation Options, Special Indent Hanging, and change it to a 0.5. This will automatically create the indent, except for apparently this one. It will automatically create the indent for you guys. So if you would like to do it that way, that works. Or you could do the Enter, Tab, Tab, Backspace on the second line. Now, when I look at this, my works cited is perfectly formatted. It's on its own separate page. My heading is still up top here. I see my essay, and my essay is fully formatted with the Times New Roman, size 12, black font. It is double spaced. I double checked that I have no spaces before or after paragraph by clicking those, by highlighting the entire essay. And now I have a fully formatted MLA essay. The last check I would like you to do before you finish up is as follows. Look at your first source, press Control F, and type that in. You are going to notice that any of your in-text citations that look like this in parentheses will be found with that find function. If this matches this, that is good. Let's try another one. Let's do the Harvard study. Does Harvard study match Harvard study? It does. We are good there. Let's check Psychology Today. Does Psychology Today match Psychology Today? It does. But notice in parentheses here, something seems wrong. I have Psychology Today as my author credibility statement up here, but what's missing here, what's wrong, is that I don't have Smith here. So I need to change that. Now, this aligns with this, aligns with this, aligns with this. Let's check Smith. I'm jumping up here. Smith 2022. You are going to notice that Smith 2022 is almost an APA style format. If you were to put a comma here, that's how that would look. Technically, you do not need 2022. Despite it being a research journal, you do not technically need it, as no other of these sources have Smith in the name. If there was a second source that had Smith, that is when you would want to put a date or some other type of signifier. Sometimes students will put the first two words of a title. Does not necessarily matter the trick that you use for that, as long as you know which of these sources are being used. Lastly, let's double check Wikipedia here. And it looks like I have no reference of Wikipedia here. As I read through it, I want to double check to make sure I didn't accidentally forget to cite something. I already know that I didn't forget to do something. I just forgot to put this in the essay itself. I just kind of copy and pasted over from my annotated bib. So I'm going to delete that. I no longer need it. And that is how you check for fully MLA Works cited and essay. When you feel like you are ready, you are good to submit after you have watched this video.